Okay, let's add some interaction to our action script that we created. For this one, we're going to open up a new project. We want to open up 9-2. So go ahead and find that in the student data files. Just like before, we just got a blue border and we got a small play button down in the bottom. Okay, if you take a look at the timeline, we have 3 different layers, buttons on its own layer, borders on its own layer, and then we got a bunch of actions. So there's a script A there. So if you click that frame, we already got some code already set up for us. Okay, if we go ahead and test the movie, notice that our animation plays, but the play button's not really doing anything. So that's the interaction we're going to code in here real quick. All right, I'm going to get rid of this empty space and put all my import statements together. And now we need to reference this play button to be able to click it. So if I click the play button to select it and then go into my properties panel, notice that it has an instance name right up here. Okay, so the instance name is play button, BTN for button. All right, that's important. Whatever you put up here, you're going to reference this object through code by this name. Okay, so unfortunately by clicking the button it undid my selection, so I have to come back into my timeline, click the actions frame, or that layer, the first frame there, come back in here and you get to see all your code again. All right, so what we're going to do is, under this import statement, add in a event listener for this object. Okay, so the play button object, this specific one, this instance, is going to be listening for an event. What we put in parentheses is what type of event it's going to listen for. So it's going to watch out or listen for a click event, and then what we type after that with a comma is a function name. Okay, we haven't created this function yet, but we'll just call it animate circle. All right, so all of this code, we don't want it to happen right off the bat. We want it to happen when we click the button. So we're going to put all of this in a function. So I'm going to put some space here so it's easier to read. And to create a function, you just use the keyword function. Use the same name for the function that you've called in your event listener right here. So same thing. And then in parentheses, we need to say that it's going to be triggered by a mouse event. Okay, as soon as I put on the closing parentheses there, it put in another import statement for us so we can use the mouse event class. All right, when you create a function at the very end, you have a pair of squiggly braces. So we have an opening one and a closing one. When this function is being called, for example, when the button is clicked, we want all of this code down here to be inside the squiggly braces. If we just left it like this, all of this code is outside of the squiggly braces, so it would still run when the project is started. So I'm just going to cut this out with Control X on the keyboard and paste it inside. Now my tabbing kind of got screwed over, so I'm going to go to the beginning of each of these lines and just tab them over. That's just to help read that all of this stuff is inside the squiggly braces. That's all that's for. All right, so we still have those same 5 lines. We're creating a new circle. We're filling it with a color, giving it some different size and position, and then adding it to the display list. And then here is our tween at the end. So this is a 2-second tween because this is true, so that's time. And it's going to go from the Y position of 0 to 300. All right, I'm going to save this in our project folder. And I'm going to solve this as interactive circle. All right, if we go ahead and test the movie, notice that you don't see the animation anymore when you click the play button. Bam, there's your animation. A little bit skippy because it's only 2 seconds, so it's got to skip a bunch of frames to get it down there. Notice if you click the button again, you get another one. So it just creates a new instance every single time. As soon as the animation is done, it loses the reference to that object because we've now put all our code in a local function. So if we tried to grab the circle outside here, you guys don't have to type this in, but I'm just going to show you. If I try and have this do something out here, it's going to throw an error. And that's because it's inside this function. In the next tutorial, we'll get a little bit more advanced.